dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll lie to you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay. Dramatically talk to me, and it's so funny, you're all I wanted, and I can't talk, want you out of my life, so say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one, I'll say none. So stay with me, you know that I'll follow. I can't breathe, together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a terrific show out.
All the way from back there. They're on board with Ben Gregory now, I love it. 10.5 minutes gone, Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to rounds 10, 11 and 12 of the WSR World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. We're here for the fourth race meeting of the season at one hell of a circuit. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in the heart of Montreal. What a glorious place to go racing this is. A very tight and twisty circuit, very understated. A lot of people really do not understand how tricky this track is. As you see from the shape of it, it looks nice and tame, but it definitely is not. We're going to have a wild ride around here tonight. My name's Chaz Draycott, delighted to be here broadcasting this wonderful championship here on Chaz Draycott Media, and I hope you'll enjoy the ride as well. We're just going to have a quick look at the championship standings before we get things underway though, because as you'll see here, it's very, very tight all the way down the field. Alex Davidson currently top of the pile on 567 points. Matthew Crisp not too far behind, but Crispy's doing a great job to jump right up there after a couple of meetings where it didn't quite go his way in the early stages. Michael Hafliderson is currently in third for AM Racing Team, ahead of Christoph Karekis and Michael Evdoka. But would you look at that? Sixth place in the championship at the moment, Maciej Sakovic. He is the highest placed AM driver in the field, but is right up there amongst the big boys as well. Adam Delmont is up there too. Adam's in the Pro class at the moment. Apologies, I thought he was an AM for a moment there. I'm sure he isn't. James Neve is the second place driver in the AM class, 9th overall on 435 points, but it is just remarkably close all the way up and down the pack. Even when we look a bit further down as well, look, it's so close. Naveed Hussein though down in 28th place. It's a real shame we've not had Naveed for more rounds since the beginning of the season. He won the very first race of the championship at Silverstone in very, very entertaining circumstances. Here is your championship leader though, Alex Davidson, doing a wonderful job at the moment, even in practice as well. He's always quick, he's always right up there at the top of the times. He's got his teammate Michael Evdoka right behind him on the circuit, but also in the session as well. 1-2 at the moment for Pure Sims Esports. Matt Bunn is currently the fastest in the AM class. Bunny's got this sort of ability to just draw pace out of nowhere sometimes. This is what he does. He'll have a bit of a terrible meeting, and he's a very busy bloke to be fair, so when he's not had time to practice or get behind the wheel, he'll have a torrid time of a meeting and not have a big point scoring evening, let's say. But then other times he'll just bring out a mad result out of nowhere. But you can see that there are a lot of AMs, and I believe we may have more AMs than pros tonight. I'm just having a look. We've got 13. Oh dearie me, that was a kiss of the wall there by one of the Pure Sims SimLab machines. We've got 12 pro drivers tonight, and we have 13 AMs. Good to see Ed May back out there tonight as well in my own colours, the Spontex CDM Esports team. He's still not painted his wheels white, so I'll have him about that. But still, great to have Ed back with us. He won a race in class near the start of the season as well. Let's ride on board, shall we, and just have a look at how busy a lap is around Montreal. This is the second chicane on the circuit already. You're going right to left and, well, into the wall if you're on board with Ed, unfortunately. It's a big old hit into the barrier there for Ed. Very easy to do that. Let's go on board with Andy then, one of the league admins, throwing it into turns 1 and 2. Plenty of chaos seen here over the years in Formula 1. It's called Virage Senna. And then way out towards the first chicane, which is turns 4 and 5. This is where Ed just was a moment ago. It's a blind entrance really, you can't see the second part of the chicane, so you just have to judge it based on muscle memory and fling it through, not hit the wall. Here's turn 6, long sweeping right-hander again. It's blind, so much of this circuit is. Hard onto the brakes since turn 7, fling the car all the way over to the right, mind the curb on the left. The curbs are going to be a big talking point tonight at dragging that inside wheel away. Down the Pont de la Concorde, down towards turns 9 and 10, another chicane. And then hard onto the brakes once more. Again, big curbs here, but they're a lot smoother, so you can attack them quite a bit more with a bit more confidence. And down towards the hairpin at turn 10. This is one of the most vital corners on the circuit. Big heavy braking zone. You're almost coming to a complete stop into this hairpin. Wind the lock on. Careful on the throttle not to spin up the rears too much. You can see Andy there having to battle against the car a little bit. Through a little kink to the left at turn 11. And then this is the Casino Straight now. Little kink to the right here is turn 12. And then he's got another chicane to come. 5 different chicanes on this circuit make it a very difficult place to go racing. And look at this again, so late on the brakes. Once more, big curbs on the agenda here. Look at that, up on 2 wheels for Andy. Just clips the wall of champions on the exit. And across the line he will go after a very, very busy lap around here. Apologies for the overlay seemingly having an issue. There have been, unfortunately, a couple of connection issues to SDK, which is the overlay provider, for the last couple of days, or the last day or so at least. So hopefully we can get it all running smoothly throughout the broadcast. Esteban Rodriguez for Pure Sims SimLab is right in the mix here with some of his teammates around him. He's got Matt Bunn just in front there. They may be in different liveries, but they are in the same team effectively at Pure Sims. But this championship has a limit on teams having 2 cars in it, so they've all had to sort of split themselves up. Esteban Rodriguez in the Pure Sims SimLab car, getting on the brakes there and seemingly wanting whatever that car that is behind him to go away and get out of his clear air. This is Andrew Jones, currently 3rd fastest in the AM class, with his best time at the moment being a 1:54.83. Shows you just how long a lap is around here. It really does last a while. As there's Rodriguez coming to a stop on the right-hand side of the circuit there. Not quite sure how desperate he is for a bit of clear air, but he's not set a lap time yet. I did say before this is practice, but apologies, this is qualifying as Andrew Jones very sideways. Very, very sideways indeed round the final corner. Easy to lose it over there, for sure. I'm just trying to make sure that we've got the live timing all set up again here, that we get it to work. So if you bear with me 2 seconds, I'm just going to make sure that we get all of the info back with us, because some of the timing, as you've seen, is moving around quite a lot. I'll just reset it for you. And there you go. Hopefully it runs smoothly, but we'll have to wait and see. This is Alex Davidson working together here with Michael Avdoka. Boy, he's smacking the curbs and he's smacking the wall of champions. That's going to feel absolutely horrible. Big old whack into the barriers there. But they're pushing the limits. They're trying everything they can to get the best times out of the car at the end of qualifying here. This will set the grid for the first race, and then of course we have our spinny wheel to choose how many positions get reversed for the 2nd and 3rd races of the night. I'll just give you a quick look at that wheel as well. There it is. That is the reverse grid wheel, courtesy of Wheel of Names. We'll spin that and choose whichever position or however many positions will be reversed on the 2nd and 3rd grids of the evening. Those numbers get shuffled from race meeting to race meeting as well, so they are never the same wheel 2 weeks running. Back to live action though, and this is Carl Hardy for Safeguard by Result, one of the many Result clothing teams that have raced in so many a British Championship here on iRacing. Carl making his way out of the long right-hander at turn 7. You can see the 2 Pure Sims Esports cars just behind, warming up their tyres, doing a bit of weaving, getting whatever temperature they can into those fronts, especially to make sure that the car's got an ideal amount of turn in whenever they need to fling it about. Martin Kenyon's in the YouTube chat saying if he's on pole at some point tonight he will not be happy. Here's Michael Hafliderson just going around the final corner as well, through past the wall of champions, lining up for a lap. Now he's only got 2.5 minutes left in this session now, and it's just under 2 minutes for a lap, so he's going to get this one, and if he mucks it up he's got one more. Esteban Rodriguez goes 20th fastest overall with that time, but we know that he's going to be doing the same as Michael here. He's going to be lining up for a quick time. Looks nice and tidy through sector 1 there for Hafliderson. Keeps the car way over to the right hand side though. He doesn't let it run out wide, which is quite an interesting tactic. Then goes over to the left. Doesn't even change down through the 2nd chicane there. Stays in 3rd gear all the way through. You can hear the gearbox whining its way up round turn 6. So it's apparently turn 5 on this track map that have just changed to. This is turn 6. And then 7 long right. Again, look, a bit of opposite lock there, but taking a tight line on the exit. Quite an interesting approach. You would have thought with a low-powered car like this, you'd let it run out wide over to the left. That's Matthew Crisp just in front, providing a little bit of slipstream here to Hafliderson. Hopefully he's going to get out of the way and not hinder him, but I think he's going to feel like he has been held up slightly there. Here's Michael. As there goes A big improvement for Matty Wilde in the DCW racing car. He now goes up into 5th place in his class, 13th outright, and then spins on the exit of turn 2, and around he goes. But Matthew Crisp definitely in front of Hafliderson, close enough to sort of worry him there. And it looked like Hafliderson had to back out of it slightly, unfortunately. 1 minute left in the session now. We've still got a few drivers that are in that haven't put a time in. Christoph Karekis, Morgan Butler and Ian Manners. I'm not sure if they've got some sort of qualifying bans or something from previous rounds. Here's Colin Sansom of year 1. Colin's unfortunately had a bit of a rough season so far. He's been involved in multiple incidents, but he's going to be looking for a cleaner run of it tonight here at Montreal. Love that chicane, love the way the cars move through there. And look at the way they grip and cling on around turn 5. Unfortunately, the GR86, hello, still clipping the rear wheels through the ground slightly every so often. It's just something, a visual bug here on iRacing that hasn't quite worked out. I'm not sure if people are just running lower tyre pressures than the baseline setups or something. It just doesn't quite look right. We've got quite a nice split between 8 of the pros and then 9 of the AMs at the moment. As you see, the red cars, or sorry, the red stripes on the left-hand side of your screen are the pros and the blues are the AMs. It also denotes the fastest driver in each class at the top. I'll show you the best times there as well, so you see the difference. 52.799 for Davidson, 54.3 for Matt Bunn. Ed May is under a bit of pressure here from somebody. That is Adam Delmont, is it not, in the number 77? Oh, contact as well. Not what you want in qualifying. And Delmont's ruined his lap and Ed's, unfortunately. Not sure if you can fully blame Adam for that, but he won't be too chuffed with that, will Ed May. He seems to be winding himself up for a lap on his own there, and all of a sudden another car gets involved. Colin Sansom flashing the lights as well. Not quite sure why he was flashing said lights there, though. It seemed like he was slowing down on the exit of the hairpin. Ed goes through, over the curbs one way, then the other. Just going to use it as an extra lap of practice now, I guess. Matt Bunn's right behind him as he crosses the line, car number 11. Any improvement from Bunny here? Doesn't look like it. He crosses the line. And he does improve, actually. A 154.204, but it's not going to be enough to move up a position at all. But he's right behind his teammate, Andy Shield. Andy is in the pro class, though. And Marcus Adams for Weenus Semantics decides to pull over there. Esteban Rodriguez now on his way into the final corner, and I imagine he's going to be going way further up the order with this one. Esteban's one of the quickest drivers in the championship, has a big old wobble towards the wall of champions, but manages to collect it. Hugs the left-hand side of the road all the way to the line, and it is an improvement, I think? No improvement. He obviously invalidated the lap time at some point, did Esteban, and he's going to start 20th on the grid. Well, keep your eye out for him coming through the order, because that's going to be certainly one to watch. Ed May now continuing on in the session, but that is going to be the end of any potential lap times that he can put in. Love these little GR86s though, fantastic looking little race cars. They sound great as well, they certainly look the part. You can just see the top of the Spontex Hedgehog there in the top left of your screen. And the Sim Racing Magazine branding there, and the Nevo branding also on that rear corner. A little spit of flame there as Ed goes up through the gears. But the session will now come to a close here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And the cars in any moment now will just disappear, and then it will all go quiet for just a minute. You can see the crowd, funnily enough, just coming towards us and rendering as Ed gets closer and closer. Clearly a setting that needs to be changed at my end. Ed goes for the line, but there you go. Disappears as the session ticks over. So for the first time tonight then, for round 10 of the championship, here is your grid. Michael Evdoka takes pole position from Alex Davidson, 34 thousandths of a second. I'm afraid I missed that one, sorry boys. Michael Hafliderson on the second row with Matthew Crisp, Jesper Eriksson and Pete Newman make up row 3. Adam Delmont and Andy Shield make up row 4. Then come the AMs. We've got Matt Bunn alongside Andrew Jones in 9th and 10th. James Neve and Magic Sakovic make up row 6. Matthias Tem right in the middle of all those AMs there, 13th overall ahead of Matty Wilde. Then it's Martin Kenyon and Carl Hardy. Liam Silkstone next up with Marcus Adams. Then we've got Colin Sansom and Esteban Rodriguez down there in 20th. Watch out for that number 35 car. Roger Morton starts 21st alongside Ed May in 22nd. And then we have the drivers that didn't set times. Christoph Karekis, Alex Jenkins, Ian Manners and Morgan Butler. So who's your money on, everybody? Let us know. Pop it in the chat. Who do you think is going to be the one to make this work now? We've got Michael Avdoka all the way over there at the front of the grid with Alex Davidson alongside him. The two teammates could definitely work together here. But will they? That's going to be the question. We've seen a couple of Pure Sims drivers really pushing each other so far throughout the championship. But it's time to get underway. Round 10 of the WSR World GR86 Series from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is underway. Smoke aplenty as everyone lights up the rears off the line. Look at that. Herfliderson moves straight over to the right-hand side to cover off Matthew Crisp. But that's the outside for turn 1 and then the inside for turn 2. It's oh so important to really think about your lines here. We'll keep skipping down the order and see how everybody gets through. Looks like a little bit of contact in the middle there for Martin Kenyon. How's Esteban Rodriguez getting on? It's just on the outside there of Marcus Adams in the Wiener Semantics car. But it all looks tidy at the moment. Great stuff. And here come the Pure Sims cars leading the way then. AM Racing Team's Michael Herfliderson just behind them. There's a bit of shuffling in the background as well. I think Roger Morton has just lost a place. Alex Jenkins having a good start as well for Fury Simsport, the Canadian, pushing through from the back of the pack. 3 places gained. Christoph Karekis has gained 4, but he's causing a bit of an issue there, and he's gone into the back of Liam Silkstone. Oh, well, it seems to me like Karekis was down there because of maybe causing an incident or having a penalty earlier. And that's not going to go down well at all if he's just going to cause more. Leading the way, though, Michael Avdoka, 989, ahead of Alex Davidson, car 55. Then it's the number 81 of Michael Herfliderson. Matthew Crisp in there as well in car 18. Beautiful, beautiful circuit here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. The shadows and all the lighting that's cast by the trees just looks amazing. Hard into the hairpin we go, and then back on the power. Big jump over the curb there for Michael Herfliderson. Seems like everybody keeps it nice and tidy at the hairpin, although I say that Rodriguez and Matthias Tem I think have just come to blows. Let's have a look at what happened here. Christoph Karekis was just behind this, fighting with, I think that's Matty Wild. Let's have a look. Whoa, actually it was Matthias Tem losing it, and then Rodriguez sort of straightens him up. Looks like they got away with that one. Plenty of shuffling just behind this as well. Marcus Adams and Matty Wild side by side. A little bit of a rub on the way into the chicane. Manages to just about make it work. And then there's Alex Jenkins behind. Christoph Karekis has gained the most places at the start of this race. 7 gains so far. And he goes now chasing Esteban Rodriguez. Leading the AM class, it's Bunny. He's got Andrew Jones right behind him though in the DCWR car. So he's going to be all over him like a rash as they head on to lap 2 of this race. Into the second chicane. These cars are so nimble and so grippy one way than the other. They've got a real sort of cliff of handling performance. They get past a certain speed and they do not turn at all, but then as soon as you just get within a certain window, they turn like you would not believe. It's really interesting to drive. They oversteer quite a lot. They've got a lot of body roll, but they are so entertaining to look at. It looks like Morgan Butler isn't taking part in the race either, unfortunately. He's 26th on our timing screen, but he is not circulating by the look of it. Liam Silkstone has dropped off about 20 seconds off the back of the pack. Oh, look at that there. Bunny's gone deep. Bunny's gone very deep into the chicane, and here comes Andrew Jones. He gets a bit of a run out of there. Is he able to make it work? There's a move in front. I think Pete Newman's just had a slowdown penalty for cutting the chicane slightly. Bunny's going to go down the inside of him. Is this going to work out for the Pure Sims drivers? No, Pete Newman staying well out of the way. Oh, no, it's not worked out for Pure Sims. Bunny spun it. Well, we used to nickname him Matt Spun, and unfortunately, he's made that come true again. He reverses the car into the wall, quite selfless driving to make sure that nobody else gets caught up in the incident. But I'm afraid Bunny's just spun himself out of the AM class lead, and now that means that Jones is the one that leads it. And he's got Maciej Sakovic just behind him as well, actually. About a second between the two of them. As down the inside of James Neve goes Martin Kenyon in the gorgeous Spirit of Yorkshire machine. And look at that. Look at Christoph Karekis there in the orange and green car. The Hungarian flying through. Martin's got all the Well, he's got all the right in the world to block over like that. He doesn't quite fill the gap, though, and Kerbs sends it up the inside. Rodriguez wants a piece of this as well. Oh, Kerbs has got it wrong. Rodriguez has found a door open down the inside somewhere on Martin Kenyon. Great stuff, really opportunistic. Martin's going to fight this till the cows come home, though, and they often do in Yorkshire. Esteban makes that work. Whoa, Martin has a bit of a wobble just behind him. But they all sort it out and carry on. Neve's actually trying to come back at him here. He's going to go down the inside into turn 6. No, doesn't make it work that time round, but he's not got to be careful now because he's got Carl Hardy behind him as well. And then Matthias Tem. Great racing in the mid-pack. The whole top 5 at the moment, still where they started. Michael Avdoka leading Alex Davidson, Michael Hafliderson and Matthew Crisp. But the 2 Pure Sims cars are getting away. They're starting to open up a bit of a gap, aren't they? Crispy and Michael trying to potentially work together and go forward here. They've got Jesper Eriksson behind as well. All 3 of them have been so quick this season. Then Andy Scheel, he's having a great night of it so far. And considering that just as qualifying was going on, he was trying to help me sort out our Discord permissions so I could move people about. He's having an absolute flyer. Rodriguez sends it up the inside of Martin Kenyon. A little bit too flamboyant there, and a bit careful on the rejoin would be a bit more care on the rejoin wouldn't go amiss, I'd say. Carl Hardy has to dive sideways there. Marcus Adams tries to make it 3 wide. Either that or he's defending from Matthias Tem, who's behind him. Matthias Tem's got his teammate Alex Jenkins in there as well. Was there just contact in front? Not quite sure what happened there. Oh, it's very close though with the Fury cars next to us. You can see a few dents and scrapes with the number 3. That was really strange though. Marcus Adams in past Carl Hardy here. Let's have a look what happened. So Marcus was in there. Oh, he just hit the back of Scheel, but then Carl Hardy slows down. I think he actually got a slowdown penalty much earlier and then had to come off the throttle. It's very close racing though, and you love to see it. Andy Scheel is now actually ahead of Jesper Eriksson. It wasn't Andy Scheel he went to the back of, was it? It was Rodriguez, apologies. But Andy Scheel now ahead of Jesper Eriksson. Let's have a look at how he did this. Oh, Jesper's, battered the wall of champions. And Andy just says, thanks very much, sunshine. I'll go through on the right. That's going to then become the left. Well, it's going to become the inside for the second part. Oh, Jesper wanted to move over. I'll tell you what, they're friendly drivers, these Swedes. Every Swedish driver I see in championships is not scared of getting close to the drivers they're racing against. Oh, Ed May and Liam Silkstone have had a drama. I think they were battling further down the order. No, they're completely separate incidents. Liam's gone into turn 1 a little bit too hot. And lifts the wheels off the ground. It's got such amazing grip on the outside. And oh dearie me, Ed has had a big issue there. Oh. It's already gone to pot there. This is Colin Sansom going past Ed. Oh, is Ed going to go into the barrier? Oh, look at that. Lifts the wheels off the ground and again. Oh, but it's going to take more than a Spontex mop or sponge to clean that up. There's battles going on here. Hello. Wow, Marcus Adams and Alex Jenkins making contact down the back straight towards the chicane. It's getting very, very friendly. Or not friendly, so to speak. All these drivers clearly a big fan of bright green. As who is that backwards? Matty Wilde. No, not Matty Wilde. It's his teammate Andrew Jones. Was backwards there. The rear end completely missing. Pete Newman's been involved in it. Oh, dearie me. Oh, is Jones going to have the incident first? Yep, Jones has hit the wall of champions. Newman's got nowhere to go. Oh, man. Oh, it's so easy to do that. This is how Pete would have seen it. We'll jump on board, actually. See the car 2 ahead. Just hits the tyre barrier. Into the wall. Great avoidance by the car in front, but I'm afraid there was nothing that Pete could do there. Well, that's a nasty, nasty shunt. And it's easy to have them round here. I was saying this before. This circuit is really understated. It catches people out so easily. But it's not caught any of these boys out yet. The top 4 in a very convincing quartet right now. Matthew Crisp chasing Michael Hafliderson, Michael Avdoka, Martin Kenyon. He's off. Martin's off at the side of the road. That's at the chicane, and that says to me that he's hooked the right-hand curb. The right-hand wheels are going to come off the ground. Either that or he's going to get headbutted here by Esteban Rodriguez, and it was the latter. And I'm afraid, I hate to say it, but there's been a lot of that from Esteban this season. He's not really been one to shy away from contact, I'm afraid. It's just not showing that patience that drivers need to show when they're coming through the order. When you are one of the quickest drivers in the series, you will always, even if you have a bad qualifying or if you have a qualifying ban, whatever, you will always stumble upon drivers that are not as quick as you, and you just need to be so patient, and some of them, I'm afraid, just are not. And it's a real shame, because otherwise the racing in this championship and the cars have just been amazing to watch. Christoph Karekis has been a real star of this race so far. 15 places gained as, oh no, series admin Andy Shield has just binned it. Oh, he's gone well too hot into there. Cracks on with it on the exit, and he's going to pull it over. So something's happened outside of the sim there. And obviously, we hope Andy's alright. These things do happen, though, sometimes. You do get drivers pull over randomly and very quickly when something happens outside of the simulator, but he went hot into turn 1, so that says to me that something's obviously caught his attention there. Maciej Sakovic has had a problem as well, actually, from the very front of the AM field. Oh, again, look at the oversteer. Wow, dearie me. It's got a real problem with it, hasn't it, this car? Lifting the inside wheels off the ground. I remember when it first came to the iRacing service, if you drove very slowly but in a circle on full lock and just put your foot down, the car would roll over. It had that much grip. This is Christoph Karekis, 16 places gained. Esteban Rodriguez has gained 12. Also, Alex Jenkins just in there has gained 14 so far this race. But some of them are having a real belter at this point in time. This huge snake of green cars in the middle of the pack makes its way up towards the final chicane. James Neve there in the work guard by result car is currently leading the AM class. Just looking at the timing to see if there's anybody sort of standing out or doing any ridiculously quick lap times, but it's all so close through the field, it's hard to pick anyone out, to be honest with you. Sakovic is trying to claw back some positions here, having a go at Carl Hardy. He's on the outside at turn 2 as there's a car running deep on the exit. That's Matthias Tem. Look at that, Maciej has to flick the car to the right so hard the inside wheels come off the ground again. Maciej's just going to try and mug Carl here and get him to make a mistake. He's gone a little bit deep into the chicane, kisses the barrier, and here's Maciej's opportunity. Which way is he going to go? He's got to go around the outside at this part, and that's going to be the inside for the next corner. I pulled off a great move on, I think it was Michael Blake there once in the World GT Championship. Had a great old battle with him around there. Oh, Colin Sansom has come to blows here. His incident-packed season carries on. Oh, it just lifts the inside wheels. Oh, and it headbutts the wall and then rolls backwards. Oh my goodness me. That was Matt Bunn. Absolutely on the ragged edge there and nearly flying into him. Wow. Let's go on board with Bunny and just see how this looked from his perspective. It's a very claustrophobic circuit. Oh my good lord, Bunny. Well, if he wasn't awake before, that's going to wake him up. Let's go back to the front then. 13 and a quarter minutes through this first 20-minute race of the night. It's actually been quite tame in some ways, this one, compared to some that we've had before. But this circuit really does draw a lot of difficult driving out of people. Fastest lap of the race for Michael Haflidason, a 1:53.124. But all of these guys are doing 53.1s, 53.2s. James Neve and Carl Hardy. Oh, sorry, Maciej Sakovic and Carl Hardy are still having their ding-dong a bit further down the pack. This is for third place in the AM class. They've got Matthias Tem behind them, who's in the Pro class, so they don't really need to worry about him at the moment. Hard onto the brakes. Sakovic on the inside. That's going to be the outside for the next corner. Carl just somehow doesn't make contact with the back of Maciej's car. Slices across the back of him, but great close racing between the two. On their way out now from turn 2 in towards the first chicane. Second chicane. Whoa, Carl, he tried to get too close to the back of Magic there. It was almost like he was trying to push him off the road. I've never seen the reverse lights on this car. That's interesting. But unfortunately, Carl was his own worst enemy there. It looked like he was just too late on the brakes, but it looked from the outside like he was just trying to push Magic off. And then he just carried too much speed in, and around he goes. Only a tiny kiss with the wall. And that fantastic sound from the gearbox just selecting first. Martin Kenyon, I'm afraid, has now had a drama as well, so we're going to have a look back at this. Into turns 1 and 2. Are we going to see the same again? Just either a little bit too hot into the first part, or he lifts the inside wheels off on the second part, and it was the former in this case. James Neve still leading the way in the AM class. Ed May has had another spin at the chicane. He's not having a good night of it at the moment, but I don't think Ed's had much time to practice, to be fair. There's been a change at the front. Michael Avdoka and Alex Davidson are having a fight now. They're having a battle here. And this is not part of the team game, because this is going to mean that Herfliderson and Crisp behind can just close in on them and have a go. I don't think this is in the books. But Davidson leads the championship. Avdoka's down in 5th in the championship at the moment, so Michael wanting to get some retribution here and get some points back, because he's had a few incidents so far this season that have held him back in terms of the overall standings. But look how close we are. There's not even just the top 3, because look, this is the top 4 from on board with Matthew Crisp. Crispy's in a great place here to watch this unfold, because if there is anything happen, or if anything happens I should say, between the top 2 and Herfliderson has to back out of it to not get involved, Crispy could be the car to take advantage and fly past. You've got to be in the right place, right time for stuff like this, and we've only got 4 minutes of this race to go. I think we're only going to get 2 more laps here at Montreal. Love to be here though. This is a great circuit for racing. I'm always excited to see this on a calendar. It should be on the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship calendar. Crispy don't care about that at the minute though, because he's trying to get his nose down the inside of Michael Herfliderson. Obviously with the wider line, Michael manages to get away. And now the slipstreaming begins down the back straight. Is there going to be a change at the front, because Davidson is now back in front of Avdoka. Look at the run that Avdoka's got. He's just going to push his teammate slightly. Just help him out, brake early as well. Make sure that he checks up Herfliderson. Behind us, oh my goodness me, Alex. Oh my goodness me, that is the millimetres between a race-ending crash, not just for Alex, but the guys behind, and a potential race win, as I think that's probably how Avdoka got it last time, because now he's back in front again at the same part of the circuit. Great stuff to watch though, so entertaining these cars. 2.5 minutes left to go here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Let's go back to the AM class lead. As, oh dearie me, Ed's had another off. Not a good night for the Hedgehog. But James Neve is ahead of Marcus Adams, and Marcus just behind him there is the driver second in class, so he cannot afford to sort of sit behind Alex Jenkins and do nothing here. Through the chicane they go, one way then the other, so quickly. It's a great circuit to drive this. The thing is with a lot of motor racing circuits, especially when you're in the sim as well, is that you can lap them on your own and they can feel terrible, they can feel dull and dreary to lap. But then when it comes to racing around it, putting other cars in your way and having to adjust to other drivers on the circuit, it can be so much fun. But this circuit, just to drive on its own, is a real laugh. It's difficult, don't get me wrong, with the amount of curbs and walls and very tricky corners that you have to think about. It's just a non-stop sensory overload, this track. We're on board here with Roger Morton, currently in 19th place, trying to chase down Ian Manners. The two of them have just gone past Colin Sansom, who was in the wall there, I'm afraid. And Colin once again having an incident. Here's the race leaders then round the final couple of corners to start the last lap of the race, and it looks like Crispy is all over the back of Michael Herfliderson all of a sudden here. He can smell a podium position. He's been very patient throughout this race, has Crispy. And the Alcantech NHR car certainly deserves a podium for that, but Hofleidsson's been great as well. He's been driving very well indeed. Maciej Sakovic and Matthias Tem are side by side. This is on their way into the chicane. I think Maciej's probably going to be the one to back out here. He's very sensible, but no, Matthias Tem. I don't think I've ever seen Matthias Tem back out of anything, to be fair. He's a very aggressive and very forceful racer. He's a great racer, though, is Matthias, but wow. Never seen him back out of a move. Here is Jesper Eriksson trying to hold off Christoph Kirekis, who's gained 17 places. He started 23rd on the grid in this one, and he's right up there. And James Neve has had a moment from the lead of the AM class. James Neve has dropped it. Is it on this part? No. Watch this. Oh, no. Yeah, oh, dearie me. Whoa, no. Oh, well, I tell you what, James, you styled it out well, sunshine. But that hands the class lead now to Marcus Adams, who started 18th in this race. And is now inside the top 10. Great stuff from him. But we go back to the front because for the final time, they're coming around the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. And now Davidson's made a mistake and Evdoka's got alongside him. They're side by side for the race lead, heading towards the final chicane. We've got one hell of a run there. And behind them, Michael Hofleidsson's going to be spoilt for choice. The two Pure Sims cars overlap and Evdoka is now in front. Davidson's going to push him down the back straight. He's going to try and go for it. This is Villeneuve versus Pironi all over again. Who's going to take it? They are at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve as well. Davidson breaks early. He's going to try and get the run on the exit. Evdoka's going to go in. Is he going to go in deep? No, he's not. Evdoka smashes it through the final chicane. And Michael Evdoka is going to take the first race win of the night at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. What a drive by the two Pure Sims cars. Pure Sims Esports 1-2 ahead of Hofleidssson and Crisp. And Jesper Eriksson is just going to hold on ahead of Christoph Kirekis. The top 5 finish where they started. Adam Delmont is going to have a strong result as well, 7th place. And look at this, Alex Jenkins and Esteban Rodriguez side by side for the final chicane. Rodriguez with a very bent car down the inside, hits the curb. Is that a little bit too hard? I don't know, but Jenkins has got the run on the exit. Home race for Jenkins and he's going to get it done. Oh, Esteban, you can't just drive into him, son. Oh, it doesn't need to happen. It really doesn't need to happen. And Rodriguez beats Jenkins across the line, but in unnecessary circumstances in my eyes. Marcus Adams takes a win in the AM class. James Neve is second. And Maciej Sakovic finishes third. He'll be gutted after that one, though. He'll feel like he really threw that one away. Wow, what a fantastic race that was. But unfortunately, there is business to be taken care of very quickly here on Chaz Draycott Media. We need to fly to the reverse grid wheel. We need to have a look then at what the next grid is going to be. What is the reverse? And it is going to be 15 by the look of it. It is. So let's have a look down the timing then and see who that's going to put on pole position. Well, would you look at that? It's going to be Matt Bunn on pole position for the second race of the night. Let me just get the music up on here and we'll pop some of it on and go through the results, shall we? When they come in, that is. We've got a couple of drivers still just finishing the race now. And there we go. Michael Evdoka takes the win then in the first race of the night here in the World GR86 Series. Alexander Davidson finishes in second position ahead of Michael Hofleidssson. Matthew Crisp is fourth with Jesper Eriksson in fifth, just holding off Christoph Kirekis. Then we have Adam Delmont in seventh. Esteban Rodriguez in eighth place, but again, a very scrappy race from Esteban, unfortunately. A lot of contact here and there that didn't need to happen. Alex Jenkins finishes ninth. He'll be a bit gutted about that one, though, in the circumstances that he lost across the line. Marcus Adams finishes in 10th and wins the AM class. 8 places gained for him as well. What a great drive. James Neve finishes 11th ahead of Maciej Sakovic, so he gains a few points back on him in that one. Matthias Tem finishes in 13th place. Matty Wilde was next up ahead of Matt Bunn, with Carl Hardy in 16th place, and behind them was Ian Manners. Behind him was Roger Morton in 18th position, then Colin Sansom in 19th. Liam Silkstone rounds out the 20. Pete Newman, after his early moment, is in 21st, and that big incident obviously later on in the race really set him back. Martin Kenyon is the last car in the lead lap. Ed May finishes a lap down, with Andy Shield 5 laps down, Andrew Jones then next up, and Morgan Butler did not take to the start of the race. Well, that's the first race of the night done here on Chaz Draycott Media in the World GR86 Series. We're just going to take a quick advert break for just a few, and then we'll get everything back for you in just a couple of minutes. So do not go anywhere, everybody. We'll be back with you very, very shortly.
4 French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again, Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across, they're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
But before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a throat to show out. I love it. 18.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Stop the time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment. Make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it go away?
Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott here for the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. What a fantastic first race we had. Quite the tame one in most cases, but still, it was eventually Michael Evdoka that came through and took the race victory ahead of his teammate Alexander Davidson, with Michael Hafliderson holding on just behind, Matthew Crisp right in there as well. Michael's actually commented in the YouTube chat saying that Crisp is in AM Racing Team now. I wasn't sure if that changed, unfortunately. I wasn't made aware of that beforehand, but I will. I'm not sure if he was just joking about the fact that they were working together so well that he's going to join his team. Not sure. Still, we move on to the second race of the night, round 11 of the championship. And I know that the drivers after that one will certainly be looking forward to giving it a good go once again. There's a number of drivers not really enjoying the car track combination at the moment, though. These cars obviously not as well suited to this circuit as they have been to others so far throughout the championship. With the curbs and everything, it's very easy to lift the inside wheels off the ground, as we saw many drivers doing earlier on. This is Roger Morton in car number 92 for Result Clothing. Currently finds himself 12th in the session, 3 seconds off the fastest time, but he's having a really sturdy season so far, is Roger. He's been at every round, he's given it everything for Result Clothing. They've got a couple of teams out there, Work Guard by Result and Result Clothing itself, and they've also got Safeguard by Result too. So a well-represented squad within the championship. He used to commentate on these guys racing in MX-5s, so they're used to quite squirrely little rear-wheel drive machines with sometimes what feels like all the grip in the world, and then other times feels like no grip at all. Here's Adam Delmont, finished 7th in that first race. Had a very easy race of it, to be fair. Just finished where he started. He's one of the next-gen racing machines, which I often get confused with the Result Clothing cars, because they're all just black and orange with lots of stripes and fancy bits all over them. Oh, a little scrape of the wall there for Delmont as well. Christoph Karekis was good in that race. It'll be interesting to see how he comes through after this one. White Van Gaming in the chat, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well after last night. We had a good laugh on Circuit Superstars in the end. He says, hopefully Rodriguez had a nice chamomile tea and listened to some Enya during the break. I hope so. I really do hope so, because Esteban is so quick. He's a really fast driver, and he's a great addition. He's very exciting to watch, because he's one of these drivers that does not hold back at all, but unfortunately just gets caught up in silly incidents and just, I don't know, just some of the decision making sometimes, like, yes, he could have crowded Alex Jenkins to the left hand side there. He was within his right to do so, but when there's not a car's width there anymore. You don't need to make contact with that car in a straight line and just drive into him. And I just don't agree with it at all, unfortunately. I don't want to rib him completely, you know what I mean? I don't want to be speaking badly about a driver because, like I say, he's very, very quick. But it just doesn't need to happen. You don't need to make contact like that. And I know, as being a series organiser as well, that it's just very frustrating to see. Let's have a look at the grid then. Hopefully this isn't frustrating to see, because Matt Bunn and Matty Wilde are on the front row of the grid, and if your name's Matt, then you're going to have a good chance of doing well in this race, because Matthias Thames behind them in third, Maciej Sakovic fourth, then we have James Neve and Marcus Adams, Alex Jenkins and Esteban Rodriguez. Adam Delmont and Christoph Korekis round out the 10, then it's Jesper Eriksson alongside Matthew Crisp, Michael Hofleiderson and Alex Davidson next up, Michael Evdoka 15th, Carl Hardy is 16th ahead of Ian Manners and Roger Morton. Then we have Colin Sansom and Liam Silkstone, Pete Newman and Martin Kenyon on the 11th row, Edward May and Andrew Jones, and they will round out the back of the 24-car field for the second race of the night. We're just waiting for Michael Hofleiderson, and boop, there he is on the grid, and that should be all of us, and we'll be ready to get underway. Matt Bunn's going to lead us away then in the matte black machine on the right-hand side of your screen. And round 11 of the World GR86 Series from Montreal gets underway. Puffs of smoke from everybody. The car's sort of bogged down off the line. Great start there on the right-hand side of the shot by James Neve. He's got a really solid getaway. He's going to be down the inside just into turn one. Makes a couple of places out of it already. They're three wide in the middle. Marcus Adams has nailed Matthias Thames. And they're stuck in the middle of it. Thames backwards. Oh, dearie me. Edward May has to avoid him. But Marcus Adams just absolutely head-butted the back of Matthias Thames' car into there. Alex Jenkins is the lead pro car at the moment. The rest of them in front of him, all four of them are AM drivers. The next one in front of him is Maciej Sakovic. He's going to try and get down the inside here into turn 7. Is he going to force Maciej to go a little bit deep? It looks like it. And actually in front of him, Matty Wilde's had a bit of a moment as well. Tries to sneak around the outside. Esteban Rodriguez is in here as well, trying to push Maciej along. Christoph Korekis is in this too. Look at all this now. We've got a fantastic battle between these 5-6 cars even, because Jesper Eriksson's behind them. 2 by 2 into the chicane. Sakovic and Jenkins lean on each other, and Christoph Korekis gets a hell of a cutback. Crispy's in there as well. He's had a tap off the Pure Sims car behind. Oh, flipping heck. Jesper Eriksson's in the thick of this as well. Who's going to push who? Michael Hofleiderson's in there as well. Let's try not to make contact on the brakes, boys. Oh, it's so hard to keep it tidy into there. Jenkins is in the middle of it. Korekis on his outside. How did they all get through the hairpin there? Crispy's still involved in it. He's all the way over on the right-hand side, making sure he gives as much space as possible. Now they're going to slot into single file. There's contact between Jenkins and Korekis. And I think Jenkins actually had a slowdown penalty there. That's why he had to suddenly get out of it, and that's why there was contact. He's having to really slow down. He's dropping like a stone down the order. Goodness me, it was busy there. Goodness me. Matt Bunn still leads this race. Neve second, then Adams in third place. Jenkins has gone back to the pits. I think something's gone wrong for him. But look at this, Bunny way out front. Loving life at the front of the pack. James Neve behind him, but look at the cavalry. Over the hill they come. It's not even a hill. Down the inside, hard onto the brakes goes Sakovic. Rodriguez around the outside, then the inside. Jesper Eriksson goes deep on Korekis. Now he makes the move. Crispy's going to make it 3 wide. The Hungarian's stuck in the middle. Magic's not quite got the overlap on the outside of him. They're 2 by 2 down towards the chicane. This is excellent stuff to watch. Very entertaining. It's not going to be entertaining if there's contact, and there is. Korekis makes it 3 wide. He's still off the road. He's back on. Sakovic is around on the exit of the chicane. Again, they're just trying to push too much. They're just trying to push the envelope too much. Nearly contact there between the two of them. So look at that. Jesper Eriksson around the outside into Korekis. Doesn't make contact with him there as such, but keep your eye on the orange car. Crispy manages to make it down the inside. This angle's not going to give us much, is it? But they both try and brake late. Oh, to be fair, Korekis didn't really have anywhere to go. Crispy was the one that maybe should have backed out of it, with it eventually becoming 3 wide. In my eyes anyway, you know, I'm not a good steward, so clearly they know more than me. As look at that down the inside there, Alex Davidson on Matthew Crisp. Lovely move, nearly clips the back of Matty Wilde in front of him. Getting the job done there. Esteban Rodriguez is now the lead pro car. 3rd place overall at the moment. He's got Jesper Eriksson behind. Great battle in the thick of it as well. Kerbs once again, he's got Carl Hardy just in front of him as they make their way down the back straight. Then he's got Michael Avdoka ahead of him. Adam Delmont is the car just behind us as we ride on board here. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Jenkins, I'm afraid, but it seems like he's pulled out of this race. It's a real shame that, because Jenkins is so quick. Over the curbs they go, and look at the run there that Kerbs has got over Carl Hardy. Carl clips the barrier on the outside and he makes him look like he's standing still. Adam Delmont wants a piece of this as well. He's going to try and get involved. Davidson and Wild have swapped places further up. There's a bit of shenanigans going on, actually. Or at least it looked like there was, the way that the times were changing around on the timing screen. Michael Hafliderson now wants a piece of this. The Swede down the inside of the DCWR machine. There he goes. He's through and away as well. Matt Bunn is away at the minute-ish. Anyway, he's 7/10 clear of James Neve. Let's not forget that Bunny was leading the AM class in the earlier race. Oh, Andrew Jones has had a problem, I'm afraid, here. Oh, wow. Big problem as well. That's off on the way into the final chicane. Oh, dearie me. He's got Martin Kenyon with him. Is he going to brake early and then Martin's going to drill him? Yes. Yes, he is. Not the ideal moment there, unfortunately. You need to be so early on the brakes there if you are going to push a car all the way down that back straight. But Matt Bunn leads, and again, what's that coming over the hill? It's a Toyota. It's, oh no, Jesper Eriksson sideways across the apex of the hairpin, and Alexander Davidson has to really check up to not go into the back of him. And he's lost loads of car lengths now, and Crispy's managed to sneak in front as well. I'm not sure where these guys are getting slowdown penalties from, though, because they seem to be going very slow on the exit of the hairpin. I'm not sure if it's from the earlier chicane or something. Matty Wild has now had a problem as well. He's had a spin. He's lost a load of places. This is just behind what we were watching. Oh, no. Kerbs is going to just push him. Yep, push. And around goes Matty Wild. And again, Kerbs, unfortunately, joining the sort of small number of drivers we've got that just seem to not have the patience when coming through the pack, I'm afraid. Crispy went a little bit deep into there then, and Alex Davidson maybe had to back out of that. He's got Michael Hafliderson all over the back of him. It's hard to realise where everybody is. Pete Newman's now had a problem. At the chicane again, he had an incident there in the first race. Whoa, dearie me, that's a hard one to come back from. What a save. I know he may have still spun the car, but flipping heck, the fact that he didn't go into the barrier or somebody else there is a credit to Pete Newman flinging that car around and saving it. As, oh dearie me, Jesper Eriksson's gone straight on there. He's maybe got a slowdown penalty again. Here comes Avdoka. He's going to dive out to the right hand side. Eriksson makes it clear that he wants him to do that by diving to the left. Morgan Butler in the chat, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing alright. If you can, we'll do a sort of remote interview, Morgan. Let us know why you're not out there, son. What is the sitch? Martin Kenyon's off. Oh, and he's got big damage to that car. Martin Kenyon is out of the race. He's got Roger Morton next to him. Oh, he's already hit the wall at some point. I think he's already done it on the exit of the chicane, hasn't he? Let's have a look here. So this is down towards the right-left. Is he going to lift the wheels on the first part? Yep. And then it's going to go straight into the wall. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And unfortunately, Martin Kenyon's race has now come to a premature end. Here's two Pure Sims cars side by side, Alex Davidson and Esteban Rodriguez. And they somehow make it single file into the chicane. A bit of a check-up, to say the least, behind them as well. Crispy and Hafliderson. Michael pushing on, watching Matthew Crisp try and make mincemeat of the car in front. They're side by side as they go into the chicane. He's around the outside for the first part, inside for the second part, gets it stopped nicely, really hooks the inside wheels on that curb, but you can use it to your advantage sometimes in this car. That's the interesting thing about it. I think Colin Sansom's having an issue. Okay, yep. He certainly is having an issue. Rodriguez has now got a trio absolutely tucked up behind him right now as, whoa, Jesper Eriksson puts a wheel on the grass. wiggles the car in. And Morgan saying he's on Virgin Media. I have heard that Virgin are having a nightmare these last 2 days. To be fair, we use Virgin Media at work, and I was trying to log on to something last night remotely. And yeah, admittedly, it was having absolutely none of it. There's still reports of it coming in now if you look at Down Detector. Anyway, there's still reports of Jesper Eriksson going past Michael Evdoka. He's going to move past him on the right-hand side, but he doesn't quite get the run. Christoph Korekis now making this a 3-car fight. 1 minute it's a 5-car fight, then it's a 2, then it's a 3, then it's a 5 again. It's just fantastic stuff to watch. Adam Delmont's not too far off the back of this. They turn it back into a quartet as Vliderson gets caught on the brakes into the hairpin. Jesper Eriksson wants to go one way or the other here. He doesn't want to go both. To our right-hand side is Evdoka. Right in front of us there is Michael Vliderson. Just an update on Bunny. He still leads the race by 0.6 of a second from James Neve. Here we go then, onto the brakes, it's the chicane, and yet there is Jesper braking nice and early to make sure there's no overlap, and he's in front of Evdoka, who's in front of Korekis, who's in front of Adam Delmont. And, oh, dearie me, Delmont's had a slowdown penalty at some point. He's really slowing down for that one. Basically, if you don't know, in iRacing you get a slowdown penalty, you have to give back a certain amount of time within a certain amount of time. If you cut a corner or the sim deems that you've gone outside of track limits and gained enough of an advantage. Matt Bunn still leading this race though. And he's doing everything he needs to do at the minute. He's carrying on. Just putting in decent enough lap times to get away from James Neve. And Alex Davidson is right behind, the championship leader coming into this race meeting. Putting the pressure on James now. He's doing everything in his power to just glide up through the pack. Look at the run that he's got out of the chicane. He made that look so easy. Moving by on the right hand side, that's going to be the inside for the hairpin all of a sudden. And very good on the brakes is Davidson, tucks it to the apex, and James Neve, well, to be fair, he doesn't fight it too hard, and he doesn't need to because he's not in a direct championship fight with him. He's third outright in this race. You get points for your overall position in this championship as well, so Neve is going to gain a lot of points on people like Kyle Hardy, Liam Silkstone and Marcus Adams because there's so many pro drivers between them. But Matt Bunn leads the way. We need to just keep our eye on this though, because honestly this could erupt at any moment between all these guys as they try and make their way forward as a collective. As look at that down the inside by Vliderson into Rodriguez. The two of them make contact, and well, you could sort of say it was inevitable really. Esteban didn't want to give that one up. Michael wanted to make a big send, and that, I'm afraid, was another incident that potentially could have been avoided, but it was just two drivers pushing as hard as they could. I think Esteban's going to have a slowdown as well there. Let's have a look at it again. This is on board with Esteban. You're going to see Michael fly down the inside. Tries to make it through too wide, and well, the two of them just constantly coming together. They were just sort of rubbing together, weren't they, all the way through that. Matthias Tem has apparently had an issue and he's now out of this race. Let's have a look at what happened to him. He's going to do this all on his own. Into the chicane. Oh, looked like the back end. Yep, the back end was already going. Oh, dearie me. That's a big old hit into the barrier and straight out of the race. Here's Jesper Eriksson. Michael Evdoka right behind him. And right next to him at this point as well. And then Christoph Korekis, then Esteban Rodriguez. But again, look at the run. Look how smooth that camera angle makes it look as well. Davidson's taken the race lead, by the way, from Matty Bunn. I think maybe Bunny making a little bit of a mistake here in the chicane. Oh yeah, he's just gone a little bit too deep, and look at that. Wow, Davidson's so fast on the exit of there. It's like he had another 50 horsepower. Good lord. Well, these guys are still at it once again. It's like an episode of 2.5 Men. They're just constantly bickering, constantly changing around, and people taking the lead role. Down towards the chicane, 3 wide now. Christoph Korekis Down the inside he goes, and no, he's not making that. He's not making that, and if anything, he's just made himself a bit of a nuisance for the guys around him. Jesper Eriksson clips the wall, and Christoph Kerekis will not just have a red car, but he'll have a red face after that one as well. He'll be a little bit embarrassed by that one. Here's Matthew Crisp, who is now caught up to Matt Bunn all of a sudden. James Neve just behind. But Bunny continues to lead the AM class by just enough at the moment to keep him comfortable. Look how close they get to that wall there. Matthew Crisp really sticking it to the outside. Oh, Bunny clips the grass a little bit there. You can see the car just trying to step out to the left. Carl Hardy has had a problem. Carl Hardy has been off at the chicane. He's going to have to work quite hard to get... Oh, Carl, no. I think he's just properly broken the right rear on that. He's hit the end of that barrier, and I think that's written it off. I don't think it's going to want to go now, Carl. I think he did more damage with that than he did with the actual incident. Let's see what happens. It's just going to go that way, and then it's going to swing round to the left. You know what? He's done a great job there not to hit anything, and that's a real shame because then he does hit something very hard. And I think that's broken the suspension. No, actually, he's carried on. It does look a bit out of whack though, doesn't it? That right rear does not look healthy. And this gap doesn't look healthy for Matt Bunn either, to be honest. As there is Matthew Crisp in the Alcatec NHR car, powering on past. But he's going to try and still salvage something here, and he brakes later. He manages to hold the position for now. He wants to keep that car between himself and James Neve, doesn't he? Wants to make sure that there's no chance that Neve can get any closer. Look at these guys launching it over the curbs and still somehow making the corner. You've got to love that. Into turns 1 and 2 they go. We've got just under, or just over 4 minutes of this race left to go now. And Evdoka still finds himself at the front of this train. This is the battle for third in the AM class, by the way. Marcus Adams fighting with Liam Silkstone. Liam's gained 9 places in this race, started 20th. Alex Davidson, by the way, started 14th, let's not forget. And he's managed to get right up there into the race lead already. Matty Wilde and Ed May are having a bit of a scrap further down. This is the battle for 16th position, 7th and 8th in the AM class. Not quite where we're used to seeing Ed, actually, is it? But Ed at the first round of the season was great at Silverstone. Tries to go around the outside of Matty Wilde. He's trying to make everything work here, is Ed. And he does actually get down the inside. Look at that, very close to the wall. And a really nice move, actually, in the end by Ed May. Is Matty going to go later on the brakes and put it down the inside? He's going to try, but Ed cuts across, closes the door. Oh, dearie me. Oh, my goodness me, that's a big hit. Big, big hit, and Jesper Eriksson is out of the race. Jesper Eriksson all of a sudden caught out by the wall. And well, that was a big old whack. He was side by side with Kerekis. I think he's going to have lost it. Yeah, it's gone sideways and he's out wide and it just doesn't come back to him. Hits the wall one way and smack. That's a big accident. That is a very big accident for Jesper Eriksson. And it's mad, honestly, in the sim. Incidents like that can still shock you. You know, they can still give you the shock value of as if you had it for real. Obviously, you just don't get injured and obviously don't have to deal with the forces, which is obviously a blessing within sim racing. As goodness me, I just saw on my timing screen that these two were side by side through the final chicane, and I thought surely there's going to be some sort of drama here. Two of the most exciting drivers in the series right together now. Esteban Rodriguez trying it back down the inside into turn 1. Kerekis doesn't give him all the room in the world. He wants to still be determined enough to make the corner. A little bit of contact. Esteban sideways on the exit. He's not going to like that, and Delmont's going to like it because he's now suddenly got a front row seat to possibly what's going to be the most exciting battle on the circuit. 2 minutes to go here at Montreal. Doesn't this just look like a riot to drive around here? I know people are saying they don't like the combo. I think it looks fantastic. Oh, hello. Very sideways moment there on the exit for Adam Delmont. Grim Reaper saying in the chat, Rodriguez has not calmed down, it seems. No, I don't think he will. But he's a very determined racer. He just pushes and pushes and pushes. Not in terms of other cars, but he's just constantly on it. Always giving 110%. And down into the hairpin we go once more. He's lost Kirekis here by a couple of lengths as... Oh, what's happened there? Liam Silkstone involved in his battle with Marcus Adams has been overtaken. Oh, actually, Marcus has disappeared off up the road here. Liam's had his own moment. Oh, the car's out of shape. Whoa, it's already out of shape. I sense something was distracting Liam there because it looked like he was... Oh, goodness me. Not the best rejoin in the world, if I'm honest, Liam. But it seemed like he was a bit hesitant to turn in and almost like he was distracted by something. Matt Bunn's got back past Matthew Crisp, by the way, for second place. I shouldn't sound surprised when I say that, but Am driver taking on Pro. Oh, okie dokie then. And I think, yeah, Bunny has given that back, actually. Fair play to him. He didn't want to gain the place like that. And that's good sportsmanship. Morgan saying Esteban races hard but fair. He's a great guy to be teammates with, one of my favourite people. And I think, yeah, if I'm honest, Morgan, I'm going to agree with Alex Jenkins in this one here. There was contact before that was beyond unnecessary. As Kyle Hardy, I'm afraid, has had his race come to an end here with a big old spin out of the chicane. Alex Davidson, though, has now completed over 20 minutes here at Montreal in this second race. He may not have won the first race of the night and been beaten by his teammate Michael Avdoka. Oh no, Ed May and Matty Wild have both come to blows here. That's Edward May going off. And I'm afraid Matty's turned in on a car that was already there then, I'm afraid. Alex Dendinson? No. Davidson is currently on his way to take what is a very convincing lead into a victory. He's got Martin Kenyon right behind him now. I think Martin will be grateful to not have to do an extra lap. He's the only car that's currently running a lap down. Not quite sure why Martin's going for the move, though, to be honest, because that's the race leader. Well, okay. Alex Davidson round the final corner then. And it means that it's 2 wins out of 2 tonight for Pure Sims. Alex Davidson wins at Montreal in race 2. Great drive that is from further down the order. Very well done indeed. Matthew Crisp is going to finish in second place. Finally gets that podium that he was so trying for earlier. And Avdoka on the podium as well for the second time this evening. Great drive from him. Matt Bunn is not going to win the AM class. Unbelievable. What's happened here? This is literally just out of the final corners. Oh, Bunny, what are you doing? No! Matt, what have you done? No! Oh, goodness me, and there's contact with Avdoka, and that is James Neve going through. James Neve takes the win in the AM class. Oh, Bunny. Oh, Bunny, what have you done? What on earth did you do? Ian Manners has just come across the line in 5th place in the AM class. Maciej Sakovic gets an AM class podium. But boy, oh boy, did that go down like a cup of cold sick with Bunny. Right then, let's get our reverse grid spun, shall we? And we'll be able to tell the series admins what the situation is. And the reverse grid is only going to be 11. Wow, so that is going to mean that on pole position, we're going to get Maciej Sakovic for Team Mad. Oh, excuse me, sorry. That was very amateur, wasn't it? Maciej Sakovic is going to be the man on pole position for the next race. We've not quite got everybody across the line yet. I think Colin Sansom is actually still due to finish. I cannot believe that. Colin Sansom then crosses the line, and Martin Kenyon is going to be the last car because he decided to overtake the race leader, and now he's had to do an extra lap. There is the Spirit of Yorkshire machine across the line, and he completes the field. Let's have a look then at the race results, shall we? Get some music on as well once again. Excuse me. There we go. Alex Davidson takes the race victory, then second win of the night for Pure Sims Esports. Matthew Crisp finishes in second position. Michael Avdoka makes it 2 podiums in a row as well. James Neve finishes fourth and wins the AM class in the final couple of corners from Matt Bunn. Christoph Karekis, Esteban Rodriguez and Adam Delmont gets his seventh place of the night. Marcus Adams finishes in 8th place, second in the AM class. Michael Havliderson finishes 9th ahead of Pete Newman, with Magic Sakovic finishing 11th, third in said AM class. Then we have Liam Silkstone and Ian Manners. Matt Bunn finishes down in 14th place and as such misses out on the reverse grid as well. Ed May finishes in 15th ahead of Matty Wild. Roger Morton was 17th with Kyle Hardy 18th. Then Colin Sansom 19th ahead of Martin Kenyon, who was the last car on the lead lap. Jesper Eriksson was 2 laps down after his big incident. Matthias Ten was out of the race, so too was Andrew Jones and Alex Jenkins as well as part of the 24 car field. Well, another very, very busy race indeed, wasn't it? Plenty to look at, plenty to do. We've still got one more race coming up though for you here on Chaz Draycott Media in the WSR World GR86 Series. If you bear with us just a couple of minutes, everybody, we will be right back with you and we'll get the final race of the night underway. We'll see you in a few.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The 3 wide again, Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a first to show off. Ben Gregory now, I love this. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I tell you what, I should unmute my microphone. Hello everybody, Chaz Draycott here for the final race of the evening in the WSR World GR86 series here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Hope you're all having a fantastic night of it so far. Certainly been a lot to look at and a lot to talk about as well. And we've got one more race coming your way this evening from this fantastic circuit, one of my very favourites in the world. It really is a Marmite circuit, though a lot of drivers don't like it here, but then again, that's because they don't like a challenge, isn't it? Anyway, we've got the final warm-up session of the night just underway. Only a couple of drivers have put times on the board at the moment. Michael Avdoka is one of them. He's taken a race victory and a third place so far this evening, having a fantastic night of it and making a real stamp on his championship credentials. We have, this season, 8 race meetings to go. Sorry, 10 race meetings, I believe, for the championship. And this is only the 4th one. So we're not even at the halfway point of the season yet, and there's still plenty of races, plenty of points to be scored. So the drivers need to make sure that as early as they can so far in the season, they get those points on the board early, and they are not on the back foot in any way going forward in the series. Just a minute and 20 seconds left of this warm-up session, as, oh, dearie me, there's a bit less of it left now for James Neve. As he has a bit of a spin. That's Matthias Tem that was just in front of him there for Fury Simsport. Matthias pushing on to the second chicane. Love the look of the Fury Simsport car. It's got this very shiny spec map on it, but unfortunately it makes the number 3 on the door go slightly metallic, and it doesn't stand out in as bright white as it usually would do. Pete Newman's having a bit of an off evening, to be fair. He's had 2 incidents so far. He's just practicing his starts by the look of it, I think. Although no, it's still sat in 3rd gear actually, so I'm not quite sure what the situation is there for Pete Newman. But hopefully nothing that affects his final race of the night. Here's Marcus Adams. Ooh, there is Marcus Adams going into orbit as he chases down Colin Sansom in the year 1 car. Colin keeping it over to the right-hand side as there goes Pete Newman now setting off, but with only 15 seconds of warm-up left to go. Maybe not worth it now at this moment in time to try and get another lap in. The session will basically tick over as soon as it reaches 10 minutes, and then all the cars will disappear, all of the conditions will change, and everything will be all good to go for the final race of the night. Just you watch this now. All the crowd will disappear and everything. The lighting will reset, the weather will reset, and then we'll be ready to grid up as... Oh dear. Who was that? Was that Ericsson or was it Michael Hafliderson? I think it was Michael Hafliderson. Anyway, let's have a look at the grid, shall we? Maciej Sakovic on pole position alongside Pete Newman, Michael Hafliderson and Marcus Adams on row 2. Then it's Adam Delmont and Esteban Rodriguez, Christoph Karekis and James Neve on row 4. Evdoka and Crisp on row 5 ahead of Alex Davidson and Liam Silkstone. Then we have Ian Manners and Matt Bunn, Ed May and Matty Wilde, Roger Morton and Carl Hardy, Carlin Sansom and Martin Kenyon round out your 20. Then it's Jesper Eriksson, Matthias Tem, Andrew Jones and Alex Jenkins to round out your field. So... Maciej Sakovic starting from pole. Can he win a race outright? Will Pete Newman be able to take a race win that he so thoroughly deserves? What do you reckon, everybody? We're waiting for one more car to make it to the grid. No, we're not. Matt Bunn will not take to the grid by the look of it. He might start from the pit lane. But round 12 of the WSR World GR86 Series from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is underway. Looks like a good start from Pete Newman. There's a car not got going. It's Matthew Crisp. Crispy's not got moving. Oh, there's a big bit of contact in the background. I think that was Jesper Eriksson hitting the side of Martin Kenyon. They're all trying to avoid and move around, and unfortunately two of them went the same way. Pete Newman's gone deep into turn 2. He's going to lose time and there's a place there to Hafliderson. But Martin Kenyon, nightmare scenario in the early stages. That camera is definitely not the one we want into there. Look at this, Hafliderson and Newman side by side into the chicane. Newman just gives him enough room there. A little bit of an adjustment mid-corner there to make sure that he didn't turn in on him. Round the wall they go for the first time. I think there's a car off in the background. Certainly looked like there was a lot of smoke. Oh my goodness me, Adam Delmont piles into the barrier, then gets nailed by his teammate James Neve. Oh, there's more contact. Carl Hardy's been turned. He's hard on the brakes. Hopefully it doesn't go into anybody. That was Andrew Jones. But my word, that was a scary, scary accident there for Adam Delmont. What on earth happened? Let's have a look. So he's side by side with, that is Evdoka. He's got the two Pure Sims cars behind him. Oh, Evdoka's got his nose down the inside. And Delmont just squeezes him. There was only a tiny overlap. He might not have even got a spotter call for that one, as we call it anyway. The spotter telling you when there's a car next to you. Esteban Rodriguez has gained the lead of this race. Esteban Rodriguez leads this race. How on earth has he done that? He's gained 5 places already. Pete Newman's been off the road. Pete Newman has had a problem. So Esteban somehow... Oh, dearie me. So Pete is Esteban's teammate. Hafliderson and Newman side by side. Oh, Newman goes deep. Hafliderson and him make contact. And Esteban somehow goes through the middle. Oh, and Pete Newman catches Maciej. Maciej Sakovic dropping down. Oh, there's been a big incident. I can tell you for free, there's been a big, big incident. There's a number of drivers have dropped down. They've lost time, they've lost places. What on earth has happened here? Something has gone on with Maciej Sakovic again. He's gone into the pits here, and I think he was just behind this incident. Was it further up? Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. Liam Silkstone, that is. That was involved in that one. I think Marcus Adams. We've had multiple cars come into the pits. Now Christoph Karekis leads this race. What on earth has happened? Because now Esteban Rodriguez has dropped places. I said before we'd have these two battling together and be very exciting. Side by side into turns 1 and 2. Karekis. Oh, dearie me. What a slide by Rodriguez. What a save. Innocent mistake there by Karekis. It wasn't like he ran him out of room or anything. It just understeered into the side of him, unfortunately, there. But wow, James Neve leading the AM class ahead of Ian Manners, then Ed May, then Roger Morton, Alex Jenkins, Matty Wilde. This is all going on a bit further down. Jesper Eriksson going past Matthias Tem. He's got Matthew Crisp in front of him. Boy, oh boy. They keep me on my toes, these lot. Right now, Christoph Kerekis leads this race from Michael Haflidason, Michael Evdoka. Look at all this. Roger Morton 3 wide on the outside. And that is for position as well. He's not a lap down or anything. I think he's just affording these guys the room. Doesn't want to get too involved with all of that. Here's Kerekis and leading the race. The Hungarian at the front. And look at that, the two Pure Sims esports cars already. 6 and 7 places gained for Michael Evdoka and Alex Davidson respectively. And the two of them are making their way through the order beautifully. They're already into the podium spots. Evdoka's had 2 podiums tonight, a first and a third. Can he get another one before the night is done? We look here at his teammate Alex Davidson. Came into this round the championship leader, so he doesn't need to worry too much about making a move on Evdoka or forcing a mistake out of him. As this is now Ian Manners in the 52 racing car. Oh dear, Matthias Tem's off. Tem recovers. But something has gone on here with Tem and Andrew Jones. Let's have a look. Oh, he's just late on the brakes. Hits the back of Andrew. And then I think Jones went... Oh no, sorry, Jones went through past him. It was a separate one. That was Matty Wilde that he hit the back of. And oh, dearie me, Jones losing it and hiding behind the scenery for a moment there. Battle for seconds looking hot. Haflidason having to defend from Evdoka. Through the chicane they go. Doing everything in their power to move forward here as quickly as possible, these two Pure Sims esports cars. Not sure if they're going to work together though. Not sure if there's going to be any team orders or whether they just keep it tidy for the opening couple of laps and then have a battle if they get some clear air in front of Haflidason, because they'll obviously want to go chasing down Kerekis. They won't want to hold each other up at this point. Between the two of them, they could take all 3 victories tonight if they play this right. I'm afraid Matthias Tem has now just jumped back to the pit lane after another incident. He's really not enjoyed this evening. He was saying in the Discord between races that this car around here was torture in his eyes. But you're never going to enjoy every round of a championship, I think. It's just one of those things that naturally happens. The beauty of sim racing is that we don't have to worry about logistical constraints of having the cars flown all over the world and have the drivers actually transported there as well. You can race on any circuit in the world whenever you want and then 5 minutes later be on a completely different circuit. It's the beauty of sim racing. It's the lack of logistical restrictions. Haflidason doing a great job though at holding these two off for the minute. But how long is it going to be until they push through? Are they going to be able to make the move? Davidson currently here in 4th place, watching his teammate pick away at the back of the AM Racing Team GR86. Already 6 minutes through this race. Can't believe how quickly that's gone, to be honest with you. James Neve continues to lead the AM class ahead of Ian Manners. Matthew Crisp and Alex Jenkins are in the middle of the pack there amongst all of the AMs. Moves further down as Andrew Jones gets past Colin Sansom for position. I think Colin's just had a bit of an off actually. He's losing a bunch of places. Oh, and I think he's still having an off. Oh, the car's very broken, that's why. And really, when you're not that far around the lap, you'd probably just want to get that towed, sunshine. Evdoka's just had Haflidason, by the way, out of the hairpin. Makes the move now as they head towards the final chicane. And the two Pure Sims cars surely will work together here to push past him. Definitely Evdoka's going to be through. I'm not sure if Davidson's going to have enough. No, he is. Down the inside on the brakes. Whoa, big slide. But Haflidason now trying to, well, stick with them because they've actually got a great run out of the chicane there. That's the problem. When you do get overtaken there, you are really compromised on exit and not able to go chasing after them. Kevin Zemstra in the chat, good to see you, mate. He says, am I too late to see Hafley spin? Well, he's not spun yet, mate. Oh, Jesper Eriksson just has, though. I think. He's had some sort of drama down at the chicane. He's chasing Roger Morton there, and I think he's maybe going to go down the inside or go into the back of him. Oh, dearie me, look at that. Wow. Look at the way that it just spat itself sideways there when he changed down a gear. It was really violent. This is Matty Wilde, currently 4th place in the AM class. But the next driver ahead of him on the podium in the AM class is Ed May. The gap between the two of them is 4.6 seconds at the moment. Ed has gained 5 places from where he started. That's a mere sniff of what Alex Jenkins has gained so far. Alex has gained 15 spots in this race. Started right at the back of the grid in 24th position, as Roger Morton has just had a drama at the chicane not too far back from this. Oh, it's on the exit of the chicane. Now, has he had some help there, or has he just overdone it himself? I think he might have just overdone it here. Watch if he catches the curb on the inside. Oh, just as he changes up through the gears, it goes around. Did well not to hit the wall there, because it's hard to have an incident down there and not hit something. Right, here's Avdoka. Typically, Alex Davidson's going to pass on the side of the car that doesn't have a camera. No, he's just going to sit behind. They're going to work together now to go after Christoph Kerekis. The Hungarian driver still leading the way. Look at the curb hopping they're doing. Oh my God. Alex Davidson completely on the edge of adhesion there. Completely on the edge. We've got Liam Silkstone and Matty Wilde now right together into the chicane. Liam doesn't want to back out of it. Still makes the apex. Oh no, Matty's hopped over the second one. Oh, I think there was a bit of contact between the two there. I think he might have got a slowdown penalty out of that. I think they might have both got one, to be honest with you. It looks like they're still battling away though, in a weird way. 10 minutes of the race gone, and yes, Matty Wilde does initially carry on at full speed, but then eventually slows down and lets Liam Silkstone through. That was due to the slowdown penalty. So, Christoph Kerekis' lead is now 1 second ahead of Avdoka. Avdoka did a 153.39 last time, half a second quicker than Davidson, but obviously Davidson would have backed out down the start-finish straight, or down the back straight at least. And Kerekis Bella saying, come on Christoph, push it hard. You are the best today at this track. There's another kiss of the wall there. These drivers are certainly pushing hard indeed. But Christoph leads this race at the moment as a privateer in this championship as well, the Hungarian. He's not part of any team coming into this series. He's just doing what he can as a free agent ahead of those guys. The Pure Sims Esports duo of Avdoka and Davidson, they've been almost unbeatable tonight. Avdoka took the first race win with Davidson second. Davidson took the second race win with Avdoka in third. And it's been Crisp and Herfliderson that have joined them on the podium. Marcus Adams and James Neve have had a win apiece in the AM class so far this evening. It's currently James Neve leading that class right now. There he is in car number 7, the work guard by result machine. And behind him, Ian Manners is trying to hold off Alex Jenkins and Ed May. Ed May wants a piece of this because, of course, he's third in the AM class at the moment, and Ian Manners is currently in second place. And he's only a couple of car lengths ahead. The gap is just 0.4 of a second. Jenkins now moves to the left-hand side, hard onto the brakes into turn 1. That's going to compromise Ian Manners. Ed May sees a gap, wants to go for it, but half decides against it at the last moment. Now needs to just take his time. He's got 1.3 seconds over Matthew Crisp, who's one of only 3 drivers in this race that are currently where they started. Crispy, Roger Morton and Colin Sansom are the 3. It's one of my favourite statistics to point out in motorsport, and for some reason it just doesn't mean anything at all. Ed May now showing the pace here against Ian Manners. He throws one up the inside. I mean, it was a late lunge, but Ian's afforded him the room. It was great driving by Ian, good awareness. Now, what that's done is compromise the two of them, and Matthew Crisp wants in on this now. He's going to see 2 AMs in front of him and think, right, freebies. Cheers, boys. What's Ed going to do here? Is he going to throw one back down the inside again? He is. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. He disappears. He activates the cloaking device. He's run wide. He's going to go wide on the exit. Ian Manners has had a hit from Crispy. Again, just needs a bit more patience in coming through the field. Some of these pro drivers are way too sudden to hit the AMs in the rear. Ed and Ian are glued to each other though into the hairpin. Ed's down the inside later on the brakes. Still sticks it to the apex. Nice move by Ed. Nearly hits the wall on the exit, but look at that. He's got a fantastic run off the corner. Now it's Ian's turn to defend from Matthew Crisp. I'm afraid Andrew Jones has just come to blows. He's had an issue down at the chicane. That's a very mangled DCWR car. 6.5 minutes left here at Montreal. What a great night we've had. Smaller grids than we've had before, but still, I think it's been very entertaining. You do often get the grids whittled down as the season goes on, and that's understandable. And now Matthew Crisp is past Ian Manners, and Ed May is flying away from Ian as well, so he's securing himself second place in class. James Neve is only 3.8 seconds ahead of Ed May right now. And to be fair, now Ed's had a bit of time to get up to speed in the car this evening and really push it. I think James may start shaking in his boots a little bit at the opportunity of him flying through. Look at the way that the car just over-rotates very quickly when you lift the rear wheels off the floor. That's Alex Jenkins just behind. Biggest mover in this race by a long shot as well. 17 places gained so far in this race for Alex Jenkins. What a fantastic drive he's having. Jason Landry saying, Christoph is a beast. Loved being teammates with him. He's fast in any car. He certainly is fast in any car. He's going to have to be very fast though, because he's now got the Pure Sims Esports duo of Michael Evdoka and Alexander Davidson bearing down on him with just over 5 minutes of this race left to go. Kerekis is now going to be giving them all the slipstream in the world. It's just a question of whether they'll go for the move straight away or whether they'll wait a lap or two to then pounce closer to the end of the race so he can't get the slipstream back on them. Part of me thinks that they're just going to try and go past at the earliest opportunity, and yep, there goes Michael Evdoka moving to the left-hand side. Alex Davidson going with him. They're still side by side onto the way into the chicane, nearly an overlap. Great choreography between them though. It's just all about the awareness, the size of the car. You know, these guys are so in tune with this machine by now. You can tell a really good driver in something like this when they know exactly how long the bonnet is and how much they can get away with. Now, if I was any driver here, I'd quite like to be Michael Hafliderson because he's in 4th position in slipstream range and he's not having to compromise anything at the moment to battle amongst the cars ahead. He's in a very good spot. As long as he doesn't do that too much. Very easy to hit the wall around here. They come right out at you. Very, very often to the walls here. You can see ahead, they're just getting closer and closer together, aren't they? As they get down in towards the next chicane, it looked like Evdoka was trying to have a bit of a go there at Kerekis. Just trying to unsettle him slightly. Now Kerekis has chosen the inside line for the hairpin. It's not always the quickest line. It's almost impossible to defend this hairpin because if you're on the outside line, you can carry a bit more pace on the exit. On the inside, you have to tighten your line. Although Kerekis has got a great run, you know, and he lets it run out wide there. White Van Gaming saying that the Pure Sims guys are going to be cranking up the Jaws theme on the radio. They absolutely are, mate. They are ominous. Just over 3 minutes left. Evdoka goes into the lead. He's going to get a push by his teammate Davidson. I'm sure Davidson will concede now and sit behind the pair of them. He does, although Kerekis doesn't give it up into the chicane. He's overdone it. He's overdone it. He tried everything he could to defend the position, and Michael Hafliderson picks him off as well. Evdoka takes the race lead with Davidson in second. Can anything stop this Pure Sims duo? They are amazing, aren't they? But hats off to Christoph Kerekis, because boy, he put up a good fight. It may still go back the other way for him yet, though. We'll have to see. All depends on whether he can get one back over on Hafliderson and then start chasing these guys down again. I'm afraid Liam Silkstone is now showing us out of the race. He's disappeared. This is that Sakovic he's side by side with? It is Magic Sakovic. Into the chicane. Oh, tiny little touch is all it takes to spin this car around, and then he pops into the pits, although, no, I think he's just quit straight out the session, actually, because it's not even showing him in the pit lane. He would have dropped down the order otherwise on the timing screen on the left. Race leaders are side by side once more. There'll be one more lap to go after this, and we are treated once again to a battle between Michael Evdoka and Alex Davidson. And behind them, Kerekis and Haflidason side by side into the hairpin. Haflidason on the inside. Bit of contact between the Pure Sims teammates as well there. Now they've taken one win apiece this evening. Davidson has scored more points though, because he's had a first place and a second place, whereas Evdoka's had a first place and a third place. So will Evdoka take this win? What do you reckon? Do you think this is going to go to absolute pot between the Pure Sims cars? Do you think Evdoka's going to win? Do you think Davidson's going to win? Is Haflidason going to benefit from an incident? Is Kerekis going to benefit from an incident? We've got one lap to go at Montreal, and this could be anybody's still. Let's have a look, shall we? We're going to stick with them as long as we can. James Neve still leads the AM class, by the way. Ed May has had a problem and dropped down into third in the AM class. Ian Manners is now back up into second. Unfortunately, I missed that. I'm really sorry. But we're on board now with Christoph Kerekis. Fourth position, the Hungarian driver. He's led most of this race. But in fighting with Michael Evdoka and trying very hard to defend it, he just lost the back end and lost time and lost places. That's Michael Haflidason just in front. Kerekis is on the warpath. He's down the inside. Haflidason gives him just enough room to fit a GR86 in there, but now they're going to lose time to the cars ahead. Davidson and Evdoka are the two to focus on now, because of course Evdoka's going to have the slipstream down to the final chicane. I think that's all he's going to need to take this race win. He can happily just sit there now, get a good run out of the hairpin and overtake his teammate easily down towards the final chicane. Is he going to try it out into the hairpin though? I don't think he should. He's still got his nose down the inside. You can see big damage on Davidson's car there in the right rear corner. There was almost a bit more as Kerekis has had Haflidason. He's managed to get the place, but he's not going to take the win here unless something dramatic happens in front between these two. Davidson then giving the slipstream to Evdoka. Is there going to be team orders? Davidson leads the championship, so it would make more sense for him to let Evdoka go and help him in his championship. Evdoka goes through on the left-hand side. No, he backs out. Michael Evdoka backs out, and the two behind were making contact all the way down the straight. Kerekis down the inside, gets in front of Haflidason. He's going to make it work, but for the second time tonight and the second time in a row, Alex Davidson wins at Montreal, extends his championship lead. What a night for Pure Sims Esports. Both cars on the podium both times. Kerekis just finishing ahead of Michael Haflidason. A great race between them. Esteban Rodriguez is going to take a hard-fought fifth place. Very lonely race for him, though, in the end. Jenkins 6th, Crisp is going to be 7th, and James Neve is going to take his second win of the night in the AM class. Very well done to James. Second in the class is going to be Ian Manners, I believe it is. Ian Manners crossing the line just there. Ed May is going to finish third behind Jesper Eriksson. And what a lively, lively race, or night of racing, I should say, that has been once again from the World GR86 Series. Alex Davidson taking another fantastic win, and his championship hopes are certainly getting stronger and stronger every single time we see him. Here's Roger Morton across the line. He's going to finish in 15th position, 7th in class, ahead of Martin Kenyon, who's just coming through the final chicane once more in the beautiful Spirit of Yorkshire machine. As, oh dear, Andrew Jones, yes, I was going to say please reverse across the line. Is he going to J-turn it though? That's the question. Is he going to J-turn it, or is he just going to reverse all the way to the line? So I was going to say, if he's got a good sense of humour, he would reverse that car across the start-finish line. There you go. Nice J-turn. Go on, Andrew. J-turn. Oh, well, he tried. Marcus Adams there crossing the line just behind him, and the final car that is going to cross the line tonight is going to be Colin Sansom for year one. He's going to finish 11th in class, 19th overall, and he's going to conclude our night's racing. Well, this championship is always entertaining, isn't it? It's always someone to watch, always someone to look at, and loads of battles going on. Davidson and Evdoka complete an unbelievable night in the championship. First and second again here at Montreal. Christoph Karekis finishes third, just ahead of Michael Hafliderson, with Esteban Rodriguez finishing in fifth. Those championship points will be most welcome. Alex Jenkins finishes sixth ahead of Matthew Crisp, and James Neve takes 2 out of 3 tonight in the AM class ahead of Ian Manners. Jesper Eriksson finishes 10th outright, with Edward May finishing in 11th. Then we have Maciej Sakovic in 12th, Matty Wild in 13th, with Carl Hardy behind in 14th. Roger Morton was 15th, with Martin Kenyon 16th, Andrew Jones and Marcus Adams 17th and 18th. Colin Sansom was the last car on the lead lap. Liam Silkstone was 3 laps down after his incident. Matthias Tem, Pete Newman, Adam Delmont and Matt Bunn did not finish the race. Well, it was certainly a busy one indeed, and there were a number of drivers that were just so impressive all the way through that. We're going to have a quick look back now. We're going to go back to the start, and we're going to chat to some drivers. The first of which is going to be the man that ended up taking 2 race wins on the bounce this evening. Alex Davidson joins me in the comms box. Alex, an amazing night for you, mate. Honestly, couldn't have gone much better, really. A second place in the first race and 2 wins. You must be over the moon with that one.
Yeah, quality, to be honest. Big shout out to Mike. He definitely pushed me all the way for both of them races. He got caught up in race 2, but it was really good fun, good racing, and yeah, great to be in the top 2 all 3 races.
Well, I was going to say, at the end there, I wasn't sure what the situation was going to be, because you were already leading the championship coming into this, and with Michael in 5th, I wasn't sure whether you were going to let him go, but is it just a case of no team orders at Pure Sims and you just race to win?
We just race each other hard but fair, and that's the main thing. We don't want to see any of us taking each other out, because I'm sure Mr. Andy Shield would be in our ear, but yeah, just got to be careful around each other and race how we like. Actually, in the last race, Mike opted to back out because I backed out in race 1 and said that he'd repay the favour in the last corner, so there was no sticky situation. So yeah, I think we're respectful, but we'll race each other hard. It's good fun.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was a few moments there where you did make contact, but it was only like tiny door-to-door rubs here and there, and that's what's great about cars like this. You can get away with that sort of contact, can't you?
Yeah, that is the main thing. It's good to be able to have a little rub with each other, because, you know, and try to slow someone down tactically with it as well. Unfortunately, in iRacing, sometimes that can end up in aeroplane crashes, as I'm sure you saw a couple of times tonight. But when the contact model does work well, it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, looks like it, mate. A great championship for you so far then. What are your thoughts going forward in the season? Are you confident that you can get it wrapped up with a few rounds to go? Is that going to be a possibility?
Definitely don't want to be getting ahead of myself on his Mike show tonight. He's got plenty of pace, and he does the difficult job making all the sets. I take the relatively easy job of just driving the car, and he's got plenty of pace, so I definitely think. And your guys like Crispy and stuff like that, there's quite a few. Christoph, he never managed to get a quali lap in, but in practice he was flying. There's a lot of quick guys in here up at the top, so you don't want to be getting ahead of yourself. Jinx yourself.
Just thought I'd try and reel that one in and see. But still, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, Alex. Well done tonight. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Thank you very much, mate. Shout out to the Pure Sims boys for always having my back, and my gran and my dad who enjoy your streams. Yeah, they think you're quite a good broadcaster. Well,
thank you very much, and I hope they've enjoyed tonight as well. I'm sure they will with results like that. Mega stuff to watch. Well, thanks as always, Alex. It's a great pleasure, and hopefully see you with more similar results at the next round.
Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers. Well, next up, we are going to move on to Mr. Ed May, who made his return to the championship tonight. A class podium in the end there, Ed. Eventually getting the points on the board, but it didn't look easy tonight out there.
Yeah, I can sum it up as being less than ideal for me tonight. I came in with, as you saw in the session, Chaz, very little practice, very little time. Came in right in the middle of qualifying and thought, oh, this will be a right laugh. And for the first 2 races I was just struggling to get to grips with the car. I mean, the car was set up a lot differently to how I was used to. Definitely faster, courtesy of obviously the Pure Sims boys that shared it in the chat, but definitely needed to have a bit of an adjustment, and a few times into the wall. But yeah, managed just about keep it on track long enough to scrape a podium in the end.
And this circuit, it's a nightmare of a circuit for some because of the curbs, because of how narrow it is. It's almost like a street circuit, isn't it, this one? It's very, very unique because it's got that sort of Grand Prix circuit feel to it, but at the same time, there's just walls everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, if there's an incident around you, it does feel like you're in the middle of a pinball machine with about 25 other ball bearings just flying off barriers and at risk of hitting you. So it is obviously quite scary at the opening phase of the race, and everyone's just trying to do their best to get by. I mean, to be fair, it has been pretty clean in terms of racing from what I've seen. I haven't had any or seen any big issues out there. So again, credit to everyone involved in this league, because it is supposed to be a fun muckabout, and it's good to see that everyone's keeping it lighthearted, which is lovely.
And can we expect to see you in the rest of the season now? Are you back for good?
Yeah, hopefully. Personal circumstances have meant that I haven't been able to race in the last two, but I'm going to get back on the saddle and fingers crossed be able to get a few more podiums before the end of the season.
Well, I look forward to seeing the Hedgehog back out there, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
No, just yourself, Chaz, and obviously the Pure Sims boys, Mike Evdoka, for sharing that in the chat with everyone. It's good to see that the whole league is helping each other out, fast or slow, it doesn't matter, as long as everyone can race close together. That's the main important part. And yeah, look to see you next week.
Smashing stuff. Always a pleasure, Ed. Thank you very much, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, bud.
Now then, we're going to move on to the driver that finished that race in 4th position but managed to get a podium earlier on in the night. It's Michael Flyderson. Michael, I'm still saying your name wrong just for the pure sake of it now, because at the end of the day, if I'm a commentator that gets everyone's names right, surely that doesn't make me a good commentator. How was that from your perspective? Because right now we've got slow-mo of cars crashing around you at the start of that race. It was a bit of a chaotic one, wasn't it?
It was very chaotic. I mean, all 3 races in general were chaotic. I struggled a lot. I thought I would be better on this track than I were, but I somehow managed 2 good results. And looking at the championship now in P5 at least, I'm not that far off, but I really need to get going with my consistency. I think like we see in the reverse races, there's a lot of carnage, and so far I've been unlucky in like almost every round.
Well, that's it. I think a lot of time in motorsport you make your own luck, but when it's a reverse grid race, sometimes an incident can just happen, especially on a track like this as well, and it's so easy to get caught out by it when it's so narrow like this. All it takes is for one AM driver just to go a little bit too careful into a corner, a pro driver just nudge them, and it's absolute mayhem. Next time out we go to Road Atlanta. Is that a circuit that you're excited about? Because to be honest, I think it's always a bit of a belter. It provides great racing. I don't like lapping it on my own, but it's a good racing circuit.
I quite like the track. I like it more than this track, that's for sure. So hopefully I can get some better results and at least stay consistent throughout the 3 races that evening.
And I wanted to address as well, you put in the YouTube chat earlier that Matthew Crisp is now in AM Racing Team. Was that a joke that it's just because you've been working together so well, or is he actually part of the team now and I need to update my overlay?
You need to update your overlay. Me and what I call Crispy, we are now teammates.
Okay, smashing. Well, it's a formidable force then going forward, so we look forward to seeing how you'll work together. What brought that about? Was it because of this championship that you'd sort of started that?
I've talked to him a little bit in the Alcantech voice chat, and we got along very good, and we thought, hey, let's try to give the overall a shot, since like we are doing well, both of us at least. So we're looking to win over Pure Sims, but it's going to be really difficult. I mean, if you look at both Edvoca and Davidson, I mean, right now they have an advantage, and we really need to pull something out our sleeves.
Well, we look forward to seeing whether you can do that, Michael, because it's been a great championship so far. It's very entertaining, and you have been a really entertaining driver to have up there as well. Is there anyone you'd like to give a quick thanks to while we've got you in the booth?
Well, obviously my dad for watching and supporting me, my friends both in Alcantech and in AM Racing Team, and of course AMRT for providing me with my amazing rig.
Beautiful stuff. Well, it's always a pleasure, mate. Very well done tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at Road Atlanta. Cheers.
Bye.
And there we go then. Michael Flyderson, another very interesting night for him. Some strong results, and one of those nights where unfortunately it's about survival at most points to get through. Alex Davidson takes 2 race wins tonight for Pure Sims Esports. Michael Evdoka gets 3 podiums out of 3. And, well, the AM class is blown wide open even more. Maciej Sakovic not having a perfect night of it, and James Neve having a good one as well. It's been another belter, though, in the WSR World GR86 series, and I hope that you will join me in a week's time from Road Atlanta. I've been Chaz Draycott, and this has been Chaz Draycott Media. Have a wonderful evening, everybody, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're three wide again. Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
But before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake.
Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been moved and a switch to show off.
Back Gregory now, I love it. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.